Hi, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording, and this is the Bastl Thyme Plus. It is a delay processor with a sequencer. That's the simplest way that I can describe it. And here's what it sounds like. We are going to do a walkthrough of this today. They sent it over, and I've been intrigued. It's one of those things where it's like, what is this thing? It's always been on my radar, but I've never tried it. I tried it at Super Booth. I really, really liked it. Had no idea what was going on, but now that I've spent a few days with it, I do. Isn't that weird? So let's get into it. I have this nice little sound here, this nice little thing that I've written on the Deluge. We'll be using the Deluge for all of the demos in this. So let's start with the controls. We have input gain right here. Tape speed. Not going to hear that unless I go over to dry wet and turn this. Now you'll notice that these ring LEDs sort of pop in. That's very nice. There's a takeover mode, which means you just go like this to find where the knob is, or you can wiggle it and it will reset it. So let's do that dry wet. So digital tape. As we turn this down, you start to hear more aliasing. Now, there is a way to make that more analog, and that is by holding Shift and going like this. And then you can hear there's a bit of a low-pass roll-off there. So, depends on what you want. We'll get back to that. Feedback, filter, levels. The levels and spacing are for 3 additional tape heads, so to speak. We're going to keep these all the way down for right now, and we'll get back to them. Dry wet, let's put this right in the middle. Okay, let's get some delay going. I'm going to hit sync and make sure that we are getting MIDI clock. So I'm going to hold Shift and hit the tap button and to make sure that this LED is there. Great. Now we know that we're receiving MIDI. So let's go ahead and... Oh, there's some delay right there. The fine control does work here. So you can push it a little bit off sync if you want, which is great. This thing will become a synthesizer, a Car Plus Strong synthesizer, at very, very low rates of time. There are 2 feedback modes that you can access that are done in the same way. Hold Shift, turn the knob, wiggle the knob. LED will turn off and on. One of them adds to the sound, and one of them sort of makes a little bit more room for the feedback. Back to a sort of normal. Sync. Wonderful. Okay, tape speed. You can hear definitely a little bit of that tape warble as you move things, the repitching of the buffer. And now you can hear that our delay signal has that crunch to it. Now what you can do is hit link, and if you hit link, it will not slow down the delay time when you turn delay speed. It will keep whatever the coarse and fine are set here too. I love delay so much. It adds so much extra rhythm on top of things. Okay, levels and spacing. So there are, I think, 4 tape heads, so to speak, that are available to us throughout this entire processor. Level starts to turn up the levels of those other tape heads. As you turn them up, you add tape heads and increase the volume of them. So, start to hear a little stacking. As I turn this up, I'm going to increase the spacing of those heads. So we're going to hear more taps, basically. Now you can hear our delay is a lot more complicated, right? You can have the spacing be clocked or unclocked by holding Shift and again wiggling this to turn the LED on or off. Dry, wet, a little bit explanatory, self-explanatory, excuse me, volume out. Now, you may or may not notice there's a fair amount of hiss. And I asked them, hey, is that normal? And they said, yes, just so you know. It's a noisy little friend. It's quirky. It's so quirky. It's not like other girls. Low pass, high pass filter. I'm going to make this 100% wet. Now, the one thing I will say that I don't like about this is I wish we could increase the resonance of this filter. As far as I know, there's no way to do that. I'd love it to be a little bit more juicier because next we're going to get into this robot section. And what robots do is allow you to assign one of these shapes. There's 9 robots in total that you can assign to any one of these parameters, I believe. There's a few you can't. I think input gain you can't. And you can sync them. There's stereo options for them, and you can change their wave shape. So let's get started with that. I'm going to go ahead and hold down robot. Let's pick the filter. I'm going to wiggle this, and we'll keep it on this triangle shape for right now. When you hold robot and you jiggle something, you are now sort of focusing on that robot, so to speak. So anything I do over here, like amount up and rate, will be applied to that specific robot. So now you can hear the filter is going up and down. Let's sync that. Now that is synced to the tempo. Another cool thing you can do is, if the mode has like what's called a stereo mode to it, you can hold down robot and push stereo. Listen to this. So now we have a stereo panning filter on our delay. Turn the rate down. I think that's cool as hell. So this thing will make really cool, like sort of ambient wash things. You can be really chill with it, but you can also get insane with it, as we will in a small bit. Cool. Let's go ahead and assign a robot to something else. Let's hit robot, turn spacing. We'll keep this one. Oh, let's do the stepped one here. Sync and amount. This will always reflect the robot's shape. Now you can hear that we've got a little bit of extra modulation in our delay because those heads, those type heads, are being like moved in time, so to speak. You can, if you're feeling sassy, robot feedback. Let's use the ramp up, sync, turn up. Now you can hear that feedback is ramping up over time. Isn't that cool? So if I hold robot and turn rate, I will change the shape of this, and you'll end up watching the shape change here. So there, it's supposed to be a smooth ramp up, but we've just changed it to a chunked ramp up, a stepped ramp up. If you look at the manual for this, you'll see what the different shapes are. My only complaint about the robot shapes is that there is no downward ramp. So Bastl, please give us a downward ramp, because I'd love to use it on the low pass filter. There's also some really cool stuff like this one right here. This is a downward ramp that only triggers when the preset is selected. So the other side to this, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. The other side to this is that there's a sequencer in here. So what you can do is I'm gonna go ahead and shift right to write all these.
Hey, editing Jeremy here. I didn't realize until the end of the video that I was pressing Shift plus right when I meant to hit Shift plus select. Shift plus right copies the current preset. Shift plus select saves it. I meant to be hitting Shift plus select, so just remember that whenever I say I mean to save something.
So what you can do is, you can sequence the preset. Once you hear like different sounds to this thing, because obviously everyone's going to be using it slightly differently. So you can hear that we've got a lot of modulation here, right? I do also Bastl, if you could put like a clipper at the end of this, the volumes that come out of this are insane. I'll make sure to put a clipper or a limiter at the end. Ooh, Jesus. So yeah, it can get really weird. Here's what this sounds like dry. So rather simple, right? It is definitely not just a delay processor. This thing can get extremely weird, and I really appreciate that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Every time you select a preset, so if I went to Shift Bank 2, all these presets are basically set to like, not bypass, but like really, really not affected. So if you ever want to make a new preset, just select a blank, unwritten preset, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so you know I had to give you some breaks, right? Like, there's no way we couldn't listen to some drum and bass here. So let's bring this in and hear what's going on. I already like it. So you can follow the lights to see if anything's actually getting affected. Hit robot as well. I think what this just told us is spacing and coarse are being affected. You'll see how, like, when you hold it, those LEDs briefly turn on. So that's why we're getting that cool, like, sort of stuttery, almost beat repeat feel. Yeah. There's also this shit where you start to really feed back. Keep the low pass down there. You can get some, like, really horny wails, which I think is always great. All right, so that's what it sounds like with this mode on on drum and bass drums. Let's go ahead and move on to another one. All right, so we have some nice pads now. I bought all of the Boards of Deluge presets for the Deluge, and man, that was like the best buy I've ever had. Holy shit. Kudos to you, Boards of Deluge person. You made some really, really good presets. So in here, I want to show you how we can take this, sort of formless sound, it's a pad, and use the Bastl Thyme to add rhythm to it. So because we have all these rhythmic friends here, these robots, we can use them to make this into more of a rhythmic thing. So let's give that a try. I'm just going to turn up the dry wet. I'm not. I'm just going to hit bypass. I forgot. I actually had the dry wet roboted. So all I have to do is hit bypass. All right, so what's going on here? Well, follow the LEDs, right? You can see that our high-pass filter, low-pass filter, our filter is modulated. You can see that our levels for our other tape heads are modulated. The spacing of those tape heads is modulated. And then, maybe more importantly, or most importantly, the dry wet is modulated. So yeah, I like it. And of course, if you wanted to change any of these timings, I could do this, and I could say, hey, let's go instead and do an upward ramp. There it goes. Let's do this to levels. So now we have a different kind of rhythmic thing. And again, all of these can be saved, right? Like, if I hit shift right, I've just saved them. That's pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. So again, before, after. So it doesn't just have to be a delay swarm. It could also be cool. That. All right, next up. So for this one, I want to show you the envelope follower. I'm going to take the low pass filter all the way down. I'm going to put the dry wet, maybe 100% wet. I don't know, maybe right in the middle for right now. We'll see how I feel later. Robot, filter, envelope. All right, amount. And now let's take a listen. What is that? That's an envelope follower. You know we love it. Rate changes how long the envelope is. We can go really snappy. Over here. Tiny little baby envelope. Over here. And then amount obviously is amount. So, really basic. On a filter, it makes sense. I think a lot of people have probably played with a envelope follower on a filter. However, things get pretty wild when you start doing this to other things. So let's pick another thing. How about feedback? We'll leave that for a bit. Fine. Yeah, let's do that. Robot, fine. Envelope, follower, amount. Cool, there it goes. What about levels? Yeah, let's do levels with the envelope follower, amount. And then spacing, we're going to do with, first of all, let's make sure this is not synced. Let's do robot spacing with this and amount, and we'll sync that. Cool. Awesome. Okay. What else can we do? Oh, yeah, that's getting weird. I love it. Course. Let's go ahead and do robot course. We will do random, synced, and then amount, turn that up. Yeah. That's fucking weird. Yeah. And then robot feedback. I'm not really sure what to do with this yet. Let's try a triangle. Oh, God, yeah. All right, so there's our original, and this is what we get with the envelope followers. And that's just one example of what we could do with that. Oh, God, yeah. Once you get like some automation going, you can just play it. Tape speed here sounds gnarly. That's so fucking weird. I love it.
In the area, killer MC. In the area, bad man. in the area, come again. Let me hear you say it. Bad man in the area, killer MC in the area, bad man in the area, come again. Let me hear you say it. Bad man in the area, killer MC in the area, bad man in the area, come again. Bad man in the area, killer MC in the area, bad man in the area, come again. Let me hear you say it.
So now we don't really have an envelope as much as we did before. So we're gonna need to bring those drums back in. Absolute chaos. It's like getting digital sludge everywhere. I fucking love it. Oh my god, what? Holy shit. Alright, so let's create a couple presets. For this one, we'll turn the tape speed all the way down. Like that. And just hit shift right. Over here, we will create some feedback. That's cool. I know what I've been doing wrong. I'm supposed to hit shift save, not shift right. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'll put a note about that in the beginning. So I'm going to hold right while this is playing and just play the presets. And as long as I have a preset selected, it will write into the sequencer. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's my demo of the Bastl Thyme Plus. I forgot to mention it also does have a CV in, and there's a CV robot that you can select here, so that's pretty cool, right? It's so weird. So yeah, a delay processor with the ability to sync or unsync modulators to almost all the parameters, and then allows you to sequence those if that wasn't enough, right? It's really, really wild. I love it. And it looks like we can still affect overall stuff here. Woo! Gotta be careful. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Bastl for sending over a unit for this this demo. And I guess I'll talk to you soon. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Bees Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Yeah. Do it.